when you decide to build a house, you usually start with a cleared lot, right? Solid blueprint, a lot of planning. It's an orderly process.
Right, yeah. Normally it is.
But imagine trying to build a completely new, structurally sound house while the old one is still smoldering on the exact same lot.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it's surrounded by like thousands of angry, exhausted people. That's essentially what building a new government after a revolution looks like.
It's messy.
Extremely messy. And it's exactly what happened in Iran in 1979.
Welcome to your custom deep dive. Today we're exploring how a chaotic street protest fighting against inequality weaponized itself into this rigid ideological state that frankly forever altered global politics.
Yeah, and the time frame we are really analyzing today focuses on that immediate aftermath.
Right, the transition.
Exactly. That moment right after the collapse of the monarchy when the streets are, they're still dictating the reality on the ground.
Okay, let's unpack this though, because knocking down a monarchy is one thing, but weren't there dozens of different factions protesting?
Absolutely, dozens. I mean, you had Marxists, students, secularists. How did this one specific religious framework manage to swallow the entire revolution without facing an immediate counter-rebellion?
Well, they used a really brilliant political bridge to cross from street protest to actual institutional power.
Okay.
And that was a national referendum in April 1979. So instead of just letting generals fight it out in a power vacuum,
Which usually happens.
right, exactly. Instead of that, they channeled that chaotic energy into a single binary choice. The majority of Iranians voted specifically to establish an Islamic Republic.
Wow.
And that vote wasn't just symbolic. It formalized a total departure from their monarchical past and, crucially, handed the new regime a legal mandate.
So they held a referendum, but a vote doesn't instantly build a functional government.
No, it doesn't.
It's like a hostile corporate takeover where the new board didn't just fire the CEO, they completely rewrote the company's bylaws over a single weekend.
Yeah, so the old shareholders legally ceased to exist.
Right. So how did this new machinery actually operate to enforce that mandate?
Well, the new machinery operated by overlaying religious authority directly on top of civil structures.
Overlaying it. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just that they put a cleric in the presidential chair. They created this parallel system where unelected religious leaders held ultimate veto power over elected officials.
Wait, really? Over the entire state apparatus?
Yes, which positioned the religious leadership at the absolute unquestionable center of governance.
And culminated in Ayatollah Khomeini officially assuming the newly created role of supreme leader.
Exactly. By establishing that specific position, the fluid, unpredictable dynamics of the revolution were legally locked into a concrete hierarchy.
See, here's where the paradox really hits me. What started organically as this massive grassroots movement fighting against top-down control.
Right, against the monarchy.
Yeah, it ended up institutionalizing an incredibly defined, rigid system. How do you go from anti-authoritarian street protests to a structured ideological system almost overnight without losing the crowd?
By fundamentally reshaping the internal laws of the society before the dust could even settle.
Wow.
This wasn't just a political reshuffling at the top. The new system reached directly into the daily lives of citizens, overhauling the legal code to reflect this strict religious mandate.
So it was everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And by doing so, it aggressively repositioned Iran on the global stage. It went from being a regional monarchy aligned with Western interests to a revolutionary state explicitly challenging the existing global order.
When you look at the magnitude of this transformation, it's just staggering.
It really is.
Moving from the chaotic uncertainty of a rebellion to the concrete institutional power of the Islamic Republic created a blueprint that would go on to influence global politics for decades.
Completely.
And for you listening, this deep dive matters today because it reveals the sheer speed at which sweeping societal demands can be converted into strict legal realities.
It proves that the speed at which a new structure is thrown up on the old lot dictates the shape of the neighborhood for generations.
Right. It was a permanent shift born from a temporary, volatile spark. Which leaves us with a lingering thought for you to mull over. When a revolution born out of fighting against top-down control successfully builds a brand new ideological system, how does that new system ensure it doesn't eventually become the very mechanism of control it originally rebelled against?